voice. Trusted local news and talk. We're here at Around the Table. This is Rianne Maldonado filling in for Jennifer English. And I have our amazing guests here, Michelle Cardenas from Brightway Wellness. Welcome.
Hi.
And Ramon Valadez, Pima County Supervisor, is here today too.
Hi, Rianne.
Hi. Jeffrey Green from Natural Awakenings magazine.
Whoa, you got
nice.
Hello. Let's pop that cork.
Wow, that was some festivity. Thanks, Bob. All right, so happy Friday. I'm so glad you guys are here, and I'm excited to be around the table with all of you again. We miss Jennifer, but we love that she's trusting us with with the process, right? Okay. So let's see. We talked a lot this week about some really important topics that we think would be good to talk about today. So we've got a couple of surprises that we think are going to be fun. But we wanted to start with talking about our morning routine. See, everybody, I think, has something that they do when they get up in the morning that sets the tone for their day.
Definitely.
Yeah, right? I know I do. And I think that sometimes when our day gets away from us, we can reflect back on that morning routine and it kind of brings us back to center. And I also believe that if we skip that morning routine, it really can throw our day off.
Definitely.
How about you?
Yeah.
So I thought it would be fun to start talking about what do we each do every morning? What do we do to set up our day?
Right.
Let's start with Michelle.
Well, my morning routine is basically the same every day. When I wake up, I sit up in bed. I'm with my legs on the edge of the bed, and I do a stretch. I put my arms over my head. I grab one arm and stretch and kind of do that side stretch thing. And then I reach up into the sky with my arms wide open like a V. And as I'm doing that, I'm imagining the energy from the universe, the cosmos, coming down through that V like a funnel into the top of my head.
That's awesome.
So cool.
And then my feet are planted on the ground about shoulder width apart, and I'm imagining Mother Earth's energy coming up into the root chakra. So I have energy coming from the top and the bottom, and then I imagine it swirling in the heart. So it comes together, swirls in the heart, and just kind of energizes me for the day. Then I've got to get up and have my coffee.
I was just going to say, you're making my morning routine look bad.
I have to have my coffee to really, I don't know, give me the little boost of caffeine that I need. It's my one, well, maybe one of several vices, but
there's worse.
Coffee. I have coffee. And then after that, my morning shower is sort of a ritual too, because as I'm taking my shower, the water that's running over from the top of my head down to my toes, I'm imagining anything negative that I might have held on to from the day before, or just thoughts that come in that don't serve me anymore. I imagine that the water's literally washing it down and down the drain and gone. And that's when I do my just for today.
Look at you.
And get ready for the day. Then I'm fresh and feel clear and ready to go. And yeah.
No wonder you're an amazing Reiki master and biotouch practitioner. She's sucking in all the goodness from the earth and the universe.
I try, I got to be filled with the good stuff, and then I'll be a funnel for others.
Don't you all also take a beautiful early morning walk?
I do. Not every day, though, but I would love to do it every day. Like this morning was a beautiful morning. It was so clear. It was actually fairly cool out.
It was.
And I love my morning walks. I get up at 4:30. I'm out the door by 5, and I usually take about an hour and a half walk. And I just enjoy nature and drink in all of it. And this morning was really beautiful because the full moon was still out, and it was huge on the horizon.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then the sun was coming up behind the mountains. It was just a gorgeous morning, and I wish I could do that every single day. I try, but it doesn't always happen.
Question though, when you go about your day and you run into somebody who's difficult, or you have a difficult client, do you reflect back on those things you do in the morning? Do you reflect back on, holding your arms up and asking the universe for power?
I do that if I feel depleted of energy. I do definitely do that, especially like if I'm in my office and I'm by myself. I will do that. Reflecting, I just reflect back on the Reiki principles. I reflect back when I'm in a time where a situation that might be causing worry. I'll just say that one sentence. Just for today, I will not worry, I will trust. And then I move through it. Or if somebody cuts me off and I feel that anger kind of coming up into my throat from traffic, I'll just say, just for today, I will not anger, I will love. And so just little snippets here and there.
If you miss your routine, does it throw you off? Do you feel it?
Mm-hmm. I don't feel the same. I don't feel like I'm as ready for the day. Definitely.
All right. How about you, Ramon? I see you over there. You're looking like you want to
wheels
talk.
are turning.
I know. I'm going to say this. We didn't tell Ramon our topics today.
I did inform him about the morning routine.
Right. So he's going to tell us his morning routine, but we're going to
tie it all
together.
Well, first of all, I have to confess I'm not a morning person.
What?
But
Do you sleep in?
But I married one.
So she forces you to be a morning person.
So well, I'll tell you what. The first day we were actually living in the same house together, I got up at what I considered early at 7:30. I walked around the house, and my wife wasn't anywhere to be found. She had already left. So one of the things that I did was I have clearly developed a morning routine, but I would still argue I'm not really a morning person. It's not when I do my best thinking. But I will tell you that I've got certain things, routines that I do or things that I do that get me started off right. The first thing that I do is I obviously, as Michelle knows, I take a product called Zeal that it also happens to be one of our businesses. But it's a functional food that just kind of nutritionally gets my body going in the morning, followed by a latte.
Gotta have the caffeine.
But the one part that is actually really important, and whether I'm cycling that morning, whatever it is I'm doing, I always try and include is I've talked before about going on a negativity diet, but I also believe on going on a positivity fest.
Okay, I like that.
So what I do is I do either positive self-talk routines or positive podcasts.
I've seen some of your videos in the mornings. I'm watching them at 4 a.m. Right? Yeah.
From the day before?
Yeah. Okay.
And so I make sure to start off my day both with nutritionally for my body and nutritionally for my mind on a positive mindset. So that it makes whatever happens later on a lot easier to deal with going forward.
So you reflect back on some of those positive topics from your morning to carry you through your day.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have a set routine of where you pull your information from that you're going to use, or do you just kind of see what pops up every day?
For my podcast or for my
for your
Facebook
ideas, for your positive messages, for your positivity diet,
your Facebook messages,
or just for yourself, where do you draw from?
There's actually a positive self-talk website that I go to, and I get some of that things there. The podcasts are the set ones that we've talked about before. The Joel Osteen, Tony Robbins, Hal Ron,
all the good ones.
All the good ones. Yeah.
What's the website? Can you share that?
I believe it's called selftalkplus.com.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm going to check that out.
I discovered it because I read the author's book.
Okay. I just saw your list of books you got to read. I'm going to check out some of those books. Yeah.
That's a constantly evolving, constantly growing.
I'm the same way. I always find new books, and then there's more books, and then they lead to more books. Yeah.
Oh, you should see my Kindle.
I bet. And here we are over to Jeffrey, not forgotten, tucked away in the corner, but I love that he's next to me.
Absolutely. I do have a morning routine. I am a morning person, and I like to get up typically between 4:30 and 5:30. In the summer, that allows me to see the sunrise, which I do try to do every day. I do drink my coffee. Just lately, I've switched up my routine a little bit, and I do not look at my phone.
Smart.
I've read that.
Good. Don't do that.
I keep it inside when I go outside to sit, and I just listen. And the sounds of the morning are so refreshing and so calming, and then the sun is coming up. So it's just a really good, peaceful way to wake up. I typically like to set an intention for that day.
Oh, I love that.
that intention can sometimes simply be to put myself out there to do something that I'm uncomfortable with, or to be patient with someone who can sometimes get under my
Trying you.
skin.
Right.
Yeah.
I, like Michelle, do the Just for Today, the Reiki principles, and I too touch back on those throughout the day when needed. When I do get my phone, part of my morning routine is I've been lately posting a positive affirmation
I see them in the morning and I love them.
every single day, and
Yeah.
I do belong to a number of groups on Facebook. And a lot of my brothers, a lot of my sisters out there are very positive people. They're walking forward, progressing through life, and they do a lot of sharing. So these memes and these affirmations that I post online are coming from like-minded people.
They're beautiful. I can feel them. You know, there's a lot of negativity out there. And then I always know I can trust that I'll see yours in the morning.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the reasons why I do that, and why I keep my phone inside is for the longest time that would be the first thing I would do. I would read the news, I would read the headlines, and it would start my day off on the wrong foot. I was
Easily.
frustrated, I was angry, I was concerned, and those aren't the things that I want to feel when I'm starting my day.
No, that's very, very wise. I catch myself sometimes looking at my phone and then I will put it down for that exact reason. I'm like, I don't want to start my day that way. But then I would miss your positive one.
It's on there.
You have to be
Yes,
selective.
it'll still be there.
Be selective.
Well, so the reason I thought it would be fun to talk.
Wait a
Well,
second.
I'm getting there. I'm coming in with that. I was going to say the reason I thought it'd be so fun to talk about our morning routines.
You didn't talk about your routine.
Right now, my love.
Sorry.
No. You're fine. I'm glad
I'm
you're
like, I
keeping me on
want to
task.
hear your routine.
It is so not as cool as any of yours. But so you all know I'm a mother of 5. There is 0 time in the day for me. There is no quiet time in the day or the night. I can never get them all in bed at the same time. Like, it's just
Chaos.
yeah, all the time. I'm just running on chaos. So I too get up between 4:30 and 5:30 every day. I think my husband thinks I'm insane, but I have to because it's the only quiet time I get. And I do the same thing every day. I get up, my dog wakes up because she's my dog. She's nobody else's dog, and she follows me down the stairs, and I let her out, start the coffee pot, and Bob is rocking out in there or something. So I start the coffee. I make my cup of coffee. I also get myself a glass of ice water because I realize sometimes, you know, you should probably have water.
Yeah.
And then I grab my tarot cards. And I take my tarot cards
See,
out
that
back.
is interesting. I like that.
And the way our house is situated, the sun rises behind me when I'm outside. So what's really cool is Sombrero Peak is in front of me, and I'm watching it be illuminated from behind me. And it's
Oh, wow.
almost like if you blink, you'll miss it, because I can see as the sun just starts to light it up, and then boom, before you know it, the whole mountain peak is lit up. So while I'm out there, I'm shuffling my cards, I'm listening and watching the birds and all of that stuff. And
drinking your coffee.
And drinking my coffee. Oh my gosh, that's my best part of my day. I'm telling you, I could drink coffee all day long. I don't even need water, just bring me coffee. I just like want it in an IV. But anyway, so I'm shuffling, and then I usually just choose my card. And sometimes I'll hold them to my heart. Sometimes I'll say something to the mountain or the sun or whatever. And Jennifer, I mean, Michelle, you know this. Sometimes they just jump out of the deck.
Yep.
Well,
Literally. jump
literally.
out.
Jumpers.
Uh-huh. So the other morning, Monday morning, before I even knew we were going to be on here today without Jennifer, this card jumped out. The Temperance card, which is basically balance. And it got me thinking. I was looking at this and thinking about balance. There's so many areas of our life that we need to focus on being more balanced. And, you know, we can take it with Reiki, how Reiki balances us. That's the core of Reiki. All of these things, though, when we talk about, you know, we need balance between work and home. We need balance in our marriages. We need balance with our children. We need balances with the people we work with. We just need to find balance. So I thought, oh my gosh, what a great thing to talk about. And so this card, when it jumped out at me, it was actually in a different deck, and it was in that new Crow deck that I did on air a couple of weeks ago. But this This is the traditional one. Are we on YouTube
We are.
today?
Why don't you show
I'll show it on
the
YouTube.
viewers? Yeah.
So that's the temperance card, but we're going to keep calling it balance because it's basically the same thing. So for me, I started thinking about balance in our lives and in our relationships and how we feel when we're out of balance. Because what do I always say? I always say, you always have the answer inside. You already know right from wrong because of how you feel inside. So when you pull the cards, they're just going to mirror what you already know. And so, when you get that pit in your stomach or you feel anxious, it's because something is out of balance.
Yeah.
And that's why I was asking you about your morning routines and what do you do to get started in the day and how do you bring it back when you start to feel out of balance? So,
Right. Well, the morning walks help bring me into balance. And a friend of mine, Rocio, was telling me, I think she sent me something. Yeah, she sent me a text that's was an article, and it stated that you only need 20 minutes of time in nature 3 times a week to bring balance into your life. So I try to definitely get at least 3 days of morning walks, if not more. And of course, we're doing more than 20 minutes. We're doing an hour and a half.
yeah.
But that's how I get kind of back to nature and get balanced and connected with Mother Earth, because Mother Earth brings balance. So when I am feeling off and I need to balance, I just literally just stand. And I ground myself with my 2 feet on the ground. If I can get somewhere where there's grass or dirt or sand and stand on Mother Earth, that's what I'll do for balance.
The epitome
That's my
of balance.
favorite way to balance.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Oh, Ramon's wheels are spinning. But Jeffrey wants to tell me, Jeffrey.
Well, I too take a walk every morning, and my small dog Teddy always comes along with me, and we hook up with a few neighbors who are also walking their dogs. So, hi Mike, hi Joanne. I'll throw that in there. So throughout the day, I will sometimes think about that walk because when our dogs are walking together, their tails are wagging. They're so happy. They're just skipping along
Just
together.
happy to be outside with you.
Absolutely. So I do work from home, and sometimes I can get a little squirrely. Like I need to do something else or get my mind off of what I'm doing. So I'll go and I'll sit with my dog, with Teddy, and just pet him, and his tail wags, and it brings me back to that morning, the fresh air, the great
love
walk.
that.
Animals are great for
They are.
bringing balance and harmony into our
yes.
lives.
Helping us center.
And joy,
Mhm.
balance, harmony, joy, all of it.
Teddy to the rescue.
Teddy to the rescue.
Aw.
We rescued him, and he rescues us on a regular
Right.
Of course
basis.
he
They do.
does.
They do that.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things you heard that I was talking a little bit about my cycling. One of the things that I enjoy that kind of centers me is really I live out in Rancho Sahuarita, so when I cycle, I go through the pecan groves.
Oh, how fun.
So I'm surrounded by all
And
this
it's so
greenery.
beautiful there.
Wow.
And so it really is. I've always told people when I talk about my cycling, it's almost meditative to me.
That's the
Definitely.
first word that popped into my head. Yeah.
It relaxes me, and I have found when I don't get to do that as often, it's harder for me to center. Now, obviously, because of what I do, I'm around people who aren't necessarily projecting the best sometimes.
Really?
So you need to find balance throughout your day.
And that's actually why I've talked to you, Michelle, a little bit about it. But I think a lot of what it is finding a way of really kind of more centering in times of stress or where there's vexation surrounding.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I'm sure that's a challenge.
it is.
I bet keeping your composure and not letting their energy drag your energy down. That's hard.
There's a
Yeah.
poem, I don't know if you know it, and I always butcher the name of it, Desiderata? Desiderata?
know it.
Okay, are you going to recite for us?
It's been years since I last read it, but
Okay.
it
But
really,
what's the gist of it?
the gist of it is really to learn to center oneself and how to do that in one's life, what to seek, what not to seek, what to kind of cut out from our life, what to put into it.
I love it.
And I thought about it simply. That's what I was thinking about because of the balance being the word.
It's right in line with what we're talking about. We're going to take a break, but I want to hear more about that because I think it's really in line with some of the actual book type definitions of this card. So anyway, we are going to take a break. This is AM 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk. Welcome. Welcome back. It's 1:28 and you are live with The Voice, AM 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk. And we are here around the table. I can't hear myself talking, Bob. Okay.
Okay, hi.
Hi, we're
It
back.
could be a psychotic problem.
Oh,
Are you
thank
getting
you
a lot
so
of
much.
water in your diet, or
Not enough balance. I'm like, I can't hear myself. I'm going crazy. There. Oh, Jeffrey's fixing
Jiggling
it. There
your
he goes.
cord.
Thank you for jiggling my cord.
you can do like Don Pardo used
Okay,
to do on Laughing.
we are
You put
seriously
your-
having some technical difficulties, Bob, with my headphones. So if you could come check that out, I'll keep talking.
Laughter is good for balance, right?
I know,
We gotta
I know.
laugh.
Okay.
Okay.
So during the break, Ramon had some really great questions
He
for
did.
me.
You know, one of the things that I'm just naturally curious as part of who I am. So when I looked at the card, I saw that there were a couple of cups, and the figure seems to be pouring water from one cup to the other. And I
Right.
asked, why?
Okay, so the cups pouring the water from that weird angle. Do you see that they're not pouring straight up and down? It's showing us that we're always balancing, mixing. There's always an ebb and a flow to life, and sometimes we have to mix things that don't go well together. You know, like we were talking about some struggles, some difficult people. So the cups and the flow of the water are exactly that, learning to balance.
And then there's a path seems to go on a green hillside to a crown.
Yeah. So that path is often thought about as your path to enlightenment or the path to your higher self. And you asked about the crown. And so you follow this path, that internal guidance we were talking about. When you don't feel good, you know that. So when you follow what does feel good, that's the path that's going to lead you to your higher self, your highest truth. And keeping a balance between your highest self and your highest truth versus all the stuff you have to do all day long and those people you run into, you have to balance being true to yourself, but being fair and balanced with those people.
Then the figure has 1 foot on the river rock, 1 foot in the water.
And you guessed it perfectly. Why don't you tell what you saw?
Well, I said that must be the balance that we're talking about.
And you know what I think that is too? So between the land and the water, when I mentioned that water is often your emotions and your subconscious mind, kind of the hidden things. So you're keeping 1 foot on earth, 1 foot grounded
In the conscious
mind. And then you have where you're kind of balanced between the spiritual side of things.
And then there's also a triangle on their chest.
So the triangle is significant or signifies being human and being grounded and on the earthly plane versus the crown above. Look at, I'm just going to say on the air, Ramon Valadez just read a tarot card.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's your next tarot reading. Call in for one with Ramon.
I can pick the cards. I have no idea what they mean.
Yes, you did. You did great. You could have interpreted that card just fine.
And then, of course, there's an aura on what looks like an angel.
Right, because we are all divine, but beyond that, we are all divinely supported. So not only do we have God within us, but we have God all around us. Whether you think God is nature or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's all around us and it's in us. And we radiate that and we balance that with the earthly things that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that I did too was find the poem we had just mentioned.
Yes, yes.
And if you'd like, it's a little long, so.
Can you give us, first couple pieces? I am curious.
Well, it was written.
A paragraph or two.
Yeah.
The author's Max Ehrman. It was written in the early 1920s. And it basically says, go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember the peace, with what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others. Even the dull and the ignorant they too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be a greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for higher ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. And those are the first 3 paragraphs.
Wow.
That's so
What's
beautiful.
the name of that
It's beautiful.
It's called Desiderata. It was actually, I was introduced to this poem by one of my mentors when I was in the State House.
Well, that's so
We'd had a lot of
amazing.
trials and tribulations the day before, and his name is Art Hamilton.
Wow.
And he actually printed out a copy for every member of the house and had it put on our desk
Yeah.
right before the next morning.
What a great mentor. I thought of a lot of things while you were reading it, but two specifically, when it talked about being true to yourself, listening to yourself, but then seeking the quiet. We talked about that with our morning routine. Such a great blend. And then one of the quotes I read about this particular card, I actually wrote it down. Just as the crow blends two opposite liquids, try to blend and harmonize with the people around you. So your poem, the card, it's all the same message. Yeah.
One thing that stood out for me was the listening part. And because this first hour's theme is balance, I think conversations that we have with everyone, I think it's more important for us to listen than to be thinking about what we're going to say next.
Yes.
So a balanced conversation is listening and talking together. And I know too many people out there that aren't listening to what's being said because they are thinking about how they're going to respond.
They're not actually
Right.
hearing your message.
They're not balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the lessons that that a lot of the mentors that I listen to teach is very simply listen without thinking about what your response should be. Listen.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard to do. I think we all probably have to practice that. I think as a mom, I know I have to practice that. Okay, don't worry about what I'm going to tell her to do about that. Listen to just what she is saying.
Right.
And sometimes my husband, he wants to help the kids and wants to fix it for them. That's just what daddies do. Yes, Ramon is nodding, yes. And I have to remind him, no, don't talk. Just let her tell you about her day.
Yeah.
She may just want to talk about it.
I've discovered that it happens here in the studio
Mm-hmm.
because being new on the radio, I'm nervous about what I'm going to say.
Right.
So I'm trying to plan out what I'm going to say, and then I miss what's being talked about, and then all eyes are on me, and I'm like, I don't know what you guys just said. I don't know what we're talking
Oh,
about.
don't worry, Jeffrey. You
It's
do
getting better.
great. You
it's
do
getting
great.
much better.
Well, when Ramon was reciting that poem, it reminded me of something that just happened today. I was working on a client, and I always play music. I always play music to kind of get people to unwind and relax and just kind of get into a groove. Well, today I was working on someone, and the music stopped just
Ooh.
out of the blue
Dun,
for
dun,
no
dun.
reason. And I was thinking, should I go and turn that music back on? Or should I just sit in the silence with her?
Mm.
And I just let it be. I figured the silence had come for a reason, and it's okay to be in silence. We're like so bombarded with information and music and sound and all of this. And it was my office. There's construction going on, as
Yes.
you know, Rianne.
Yeah.
And so there's traffic and there's noise. For this half hour that I was working on this person, it was dead silence.
What?
I know.
The
it
other
was
day
like
it was
divinely
loud.
brought
Yeah.
that we needed to have this silence to just be in our thoughts and to listen within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive, having been there just the other day, and it was so loud.
Yeah.
But I just realized something. When I introduced you, I didn't tell what you do. So some of our new listeners, when you're saying you worked on a client today, might not know what you do. Tell us what you do.
Yes. I am a Nusui Reiki master teacher. I do BioTouch as well and some other healing modalities, but everything's based on Reiki. And just a natural healing center. So if you need that, contact me.
Tell them how to contact you.
brightwaywellness.com or call 520-549-4800. And the work that I do, the natural healing that I do, is not a replacement for your regular health care. It's to enhance and complement what you're already doing.
And Jeffrey, you are also a Reiki master, and talk about your writing.
Yes, I'm a Reiki master like Michelle and like you also, Rianne. I really enjoy doing that, and that's actually one thing that keeps me centered and balanced, because I think, as you mentioned last week, when we are giving Reiki, we receive just as much as the client we're working with. So there are times when I may not necessarily be working on myself as often as I should be, and that's self-Reiki, just self-love. And I discover that when I'm working with someone else, how much I miss working on myself and feeling that healing in my own body. So my writing is actually pretty much centered on plant medicine. And my view on that and my approach is that I'm viewing plants as energy, as gifts from source, as gifts from Mother Earth. And when we can tap into those energies within those plants, flowers, trees, it can become medicine.
So it can bring balance.
It can bring balance.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I love that. And Ramon, Pima County Supervisor in case we have new listeners, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you fit in with the spiritual part of our show.
Well, obviously, I have a day job, and that's as a Pima County supervisor. I'm one of the 5 members of the Board of Supervisors. But on the side, I also am an entrepreneur. And I have a number of small businesses. And one of the things that I also enjoy doing is coaching people. Obviously, and I think many of you have seen my Facebook Lives where we try and give actionable items to people to really make their life better or help them make decisions or help them deal with things in life. I'm also a small business coach as well.
I didn't know that
that's
about
amazing.
You. Look at all these small businesses you have right here to coach. We can be some guinea pigs. Okay, so while Michelle was talking, I saw Ramon take the temperance card and slide it over to him and snap a picture. I want to hear about this. What are you going to do with that?
Well, I just wanted to be able to show it to my wife based on the conversation that we're talking about, because usually she's listening as well.
Okay.
And I kind of figured that she would say, "So what did it look like?" And I wouldn't do it justice describing it. So, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
It is.
Rianne, you just taught a class recently, tarot class,
I
in
did.
which you talked about pulling a card for the day and journaling about that. Why don't you tell our listeners what that's all about?
Yeah, okay. Yes, I did teach. I taught 2 classes on Saturday. I love to teach about tarot because for me, I don't like the stigma that tarot is fortune telling and we're sitting in a dark room with a turban and a big earring and it's all woo woo. That you're going to get in a car accident tomorrow. I don't read tarot like that. So what I like to do is teach classes that teach people how to use it as a coaching tool to help with their business, their home life, their family, whatever it is. Just listening to the inner voice and guiding them. And so, what did you ask me?
I asked. Okay, so we pulled this card.
Yes.
So
the card a day.
Yes,
That's right.
Talk about the card of the day.
Yes.
And the morning and the
Right.
evening
Okay.
connection.
Look, Jeffrey. Jeffrey was so worried about how he does on the air, and look at there you go. Now you can feel better.
Rianne, don't worry about it. It happens to all of us.
Yes. Thank you. So the card of the day is valuable, and that is why part of my morning routine is pulling one. But the talking about teaching portion of it is there are 78 cards in the deck. That is a huge number. And if somebody thinks that they need to go memorize these meanings from books of all 78 cards, it's daunting and they would never do it. They would burn out and they would hate it and it wouldn't be fun. So what I teach is take a notebook and put it by your bed and put your deck by your bed when you go to bed at night. And when you get up in the morning, even if you're sleepy-eyed and it's dark and your eyes are closed, shuffle your deck and pull one out.
That's probably even better.
Right? Because then you have no preconceived notion and you're still kind of outside your body. You're still in the sleep state. Pull a card. Then you're going to take a look at it and you're going to write in your notebook your initial gut reaction. What do you see, think, feel? What does it do to you? What does it say to you? And you're going to make some notes. If you absolutely draw a blank, sure, glance in a book or look it up online, but only pick a word or two just to get you started. Put it away and go about your day. But what you do with it during your day is, for example, let's say your card is the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is a young man with a sword and he's charging forward out into his life. He looks like he's really just ready to go and he's happy and he's positive. So now when you go out in your day and you stop and get your cup of coffee and you look at your barista and you go, oh, he kind of makes me think of the Page of Swords. Okay. And then you go to work and somebody's doing something and they're like really action oriented and they're ready to go out and do it. And you're like, oh, that person's kind of like the Page of Swords. So now when you get home at night and you're getting ready for bed, you pull out your notebook again and you reassess and you see how did that Page of Swords show up in your day, and you make notes about it. And the reason you do this, and this probably will make sense to you, is if I tell you what something means, it doesn't stick. It doesn't have a meaning. You don't have a memory attached to it. But if you go out and make a memory around that, now it will have meaning to you. So later, if you're doing a reading for yourself or you're doing a reading for somebody else and you pull the Page of Swords, it is instantly going to remind you of those people you ran into or situations you ran into, and you will be able to recall a meaning for that card.
That's cool.
That's why we do the card a day.
So
Sounds
the
like fun.
meaning, the meaning of these cards, they can change every time
Absolutely.
you use or receive a tarot reading, right?
Right, because it could be your mood that day. It could be your situation, your question. It could also be different because for example, there's one card, the Five of Swords. There are 3 characters in that card. And sometimes you'll look at that card and you might relate with the character in the foreground. But the next time you see that card and you're reading it for somebody else, they feel like the guy in the back who's got his head hanging low and he's all depressed and sad. So there's so much imagery to pull from that, yes, the meaning can change. They do have a basic standard kind of meaning, but your intuition is the key.
So those cards are really a channel
Yes.
to our inner self.
They're a mirror.
So if we were to pull a card and it says something to us, it might be answering a question or explaining a situation. And all of that is coming from inside. It's coming from our gut. It's what comes to our mind while we're looking at that card, and it can be different every time.
Exactly. That's perfectly exactly true. And that's why I always tell you guys, the cards don't lie, because I might not know what you are thinking, but I'm going to tell you what that card generally means, and then you will adapt it to what it is that you're thinking about. We do have a caller. Rocio, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. How are you, Rianne?
Good. Thank
And
you for
Jeffrey
calling
and
in.
Michelle and everyone.
Hi, Rocio.
thank you.
Rocio.
Hi, Rocio.
Hi. So I took your class, Rianne, on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an amazing class. And I wanted to just contribute that and add to that because you know how you guys have been talking about balance and morning routines. The reason that I took your class is because I wanted to find a little bit of, I want to use the tarot as a tool to help me coaching my clients when I'm doing hypnotherapy.
Brilliant.
And so, I use that, and I'm starting to learn, and your class was fabulous because I've been practicing every day since I assisted to your class. And like how Jeffrey asked right now, if you have a question and then something might pop out from one of the cards, I think the cards talk to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. They tell you what you need to know in that moment.
Yes, definitely. So I heard you guys talking about it, and I thought, I need to call in and say how amazing your class is, and people need to go.
Thanks, Rocio. I want to ask you, how are you going to use the cards with your clients, with your hypnotherapy
What's
clients? How are you going to... Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, now I can.
Okay. I wanted to ask you to talk about how you're going to use the cards with your hypnotherapy clients.
So I actually already started doing that, not necessarily in front of the client, but it's just so every one of us. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, as you guys know. Every single one of us, we all have a ritual that we do prior to working with any one of our clients in whatever area of our expertise we're going to be working with. And so during your class, it dawned on me. I thought, I would like to use the tarot as a guide, because I always call upon my guides, my higher source, or my higher self, to guide me through which way would be the best way that I can guide my clients. So I specifically, this past week, without naming any names, I had a client, and I prior to her coming over, I did I had a question in mind, and I just, wanted to see how best I could help her, and I pulled the card, and I'm not kidding you, I actually did share this information with my client afterwards, though, because it really... It
was relevant.
The card that I had pulled, it was relevant. It resonated with what we were talking about during our session prior to hypnotherapy, because I do a little bit of life coaching before we actually go into hypnotherapy session, because I need to know a little bit behind of why the person is seeking the hypnosis session, and it was totally relevant, and I think I felt really confident, but that's thanks to you, because you taught me how to do that.
Oh,
so you now,
that means a lot.
So now you gave me a tool. So now thank you, because now you gave me an extra tool that I can use in seeking my self-guidance to be able to be of better help to my clients.
I love that, Rocio. That means so much to me, and I'm excited to know two things. Do you remember what card it was, and do you remember what your client said or how they felt without giving away personal information?
Yes. So it was actually a major arcana. I don't know if I said that right.
Yeah, you're good.
It was the Chariot.
Oh, okay. And how did that
Yes.
fit in with her situation? What did she?
So she was she's had some major changes in her life, and it was more of a, you know how the
Are you there?
was looking at the interpretation. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
now we can.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know why it's been cutting off a little bit. Sorry. I don't know what you heard. But anyways, there's two sphinxes, and I immediately thought, oh, there's two sides that are maybe not necessarily contradiction, but you know how there's always a divine feminine and a divine masculine side to us?
Yeah.
I thought maybe there's two parts of her that are, you know, struggling. Maybe she's struggling with a decision. Maybe she doesn't know which side or which way in life she needs to head. And at the end of it, of our session and everything, we talked about it, and I told her I had to share with what had happened during our session, and she left amazed, and she actually scheduled another session with me.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, so that to me, not that I need that external validation, but as a practitioner, as a hypnotherapy practitioner, that made me realize that how useful the tarot was to me, to be
What
honest.
a nice gift.
I love it. Rocio, before you go, can you tell people how to find you and what you do and where to find you?
Oh, yes, thank you. My name's Rocio again, and I can be found at Natural Inner Healing and Wellness, and I'm a hypnotherapist and life coach. So I help people basically just, you know, release, reframe, remove anything that's no longer serving your higher purpose so that you can move forward in life. So, and I can be found on 2030 East Broadway, Suite 3, on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays. Perfect. Well, thank you so much,
Thanks,
Rocio.
Rocio. Yes,
Thank
Ramon
you,
is
guys.
pointing at me.
Oh, yes.
Thanks, Rocio.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, Rocio does work out of my office.
Mm-hmm.
On Tuesdays, I'm volunteering at the BioTouch Center. So Rocio rents the space, and she's there every Tuesday. So you can go in and get a free consultation with her if she's not with a client. And she does sessions all day on Tuesdays.
I love that. I was just looking back at something we talked about the other day. I wanted to know more about BioTouch because that's another way to bring balance and healing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I want you to talk about it. But I had found a couple of quotes, and we talked about these quotes, and it was so crazy how when you pull a card or you do your morning routine, whatever it is, do you find that sometimes things that are in alignment with what you're thinking kind of land in your path?
Oh, heck
Absolutely.
yeah.
Right?
All the
right?
time.
So I was telling Michelle the other day that I asked my daughter, I'm reading a novel, like a mindless novel. All I ever read is a self-help and learning books and, nonfiction. And I just got a darn library book of a love story. And I asked her, I said, when you go up to bed, would you just put it next to my bed? Because I just want some mindless reading as I fall asleep. Well, of course, she didn't put it by my bed. So when I went up there, I couldn't find the darn book. I was bugged. But then I looked on my nightstand, and of course, there was a book I probably was supposed to be reading. A Course in Miracles Made Easy. Some of you are familiar with A Course in Miracles. So I'm reading the Made Easy version. So when I opened it up, I thought, how crazy that I would see this quote. So I'm going to share it with you. It's short. Stop doing what hurts you and start doing what heals you. So everything we're talking about, when that internal voice says this doesn't feel good, right? Ramon is wowing.
No,
what?
you don't want to know why I
Tell
said
me
wow?
why.
Go to my Facebook page at Ramon Valadez 67 and take a look at the Facebook Live that I did this morning.
No way.
my gosh.
Oh, goosebumps. See, things come in your path for a reason. So
Yes.
it is. But what hit me is how simple that really is. If something doesn't feel good, a relationship, a job, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it anymore.
It sounds so easy.
It does.
And, we are creatures of habit. And we were talking about our morning routine. There are things that we do throughout the day as routine without even thinking about it sometimes. So when we do stop and think about it, it could be easier to stop doing the things that are bad for us and to start seeing the things that are good for us.
You have a
Right.
brilliant one, though. I'm telling you, leaving your phone in the house is like number one. I think many people, if they stop to think about it, me included, and my husband for sure, the first thing we do in the morning is pick up our phone. That's wrong. We shouldn't do that. I'm telling you what's wrong. I'm just saying, that's one thing that we could definitely stop doing.
Yes.
So easy. Oh my gosh, now I have to go log on and watch your video. The one morning I don't watch it. Oh, how funny. Anyways,
But
Bob,
it's about
yeah.
bringing balance. Jeffrey was talking about gifts. Rocio had brought in gifts. I know gifts is part of our second hour.
Oh, you gave away our secret.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
But one thing that I think that we can do for ourselves that brings balance is gift yourself with some self-care.
Oh my gosh.
I
right?
forget to do that.
Me too.
And that brings me back into balance because a lot of times I'm giving, working with people, doing housework, doing work, and I forget to take care of myself. And to do that, to bring balance into life, we need to take care of ourselves too, because we can't serve others unless we're taking care of ourselves.
It's hard to find time to do that, though.
It
When
is.
you are busy family, busy
is.
work, with everything, it's hard to do that. But today, while I was waiting to come in here, I had a spare couple of minutes. And I went in my Reiki room and I laid on my Reiki table for 10 minutes by myself. And that felt so amazing.
Nice.
But I was worried I wouldn't get up. Looks like we have a caller. Maya the shaman. She's been on here before. Welcome, Maya.
Hey, thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Maya.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Doing great.
Oh, good. Welcome. We have a couple minutes before our break. Tell us what's going on, Maya.
Oh, just enjoying this beautiful Appalachian mountains, and just wanted to join you in with you today.
Thanks. How do you find balance in your life?
Wow, that's a good one, right? Take a lot of nice deep breaths and surrender everything to the universe. Let the universe take in charge because we human beings have been so inundated with so much information and so much work. And, the world that we live in is constantly calling us to do this or do that. So we need to take that time to stop. And it's not so easy at times, but it's necessary. And when we stop, that's when we really fill in the spirit in us with more juice from the divine.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Taking the time to check out for a little bit
And just breathe.
and just breathe. I bet it's easier to do that in the beautiful Appalachian Mountains.
Oh my gosh.
I've been blessed. So
All right.
I'm not going to complain.
No, Maya, we got to cut to a break. So hang on and we'll be back. This is AM 1030, The Voice, trusted local news and talk.
Okay.
Hello and welcome back. It's 2:05 in the afternoon. You are listening to AM 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk. This is Around the Table, except in our second hour, we call it Spirit's Kitchen.
Right.
I know. But while we're on duty here and lovely Jennifer is out of town, we kind of do Spirit's Kitchen the whole time because we're not the foodies like she is, right? So we're doing Spirit's Kitchen.
But we're going to bring food into the second hour.
Yes,
we are going to do that. We're going to bring
are.
food in, and we'll talk about food and how it comes into our life. Yeah.
Oh, you mean delivery is coming?
No,
Oh, I
wish.
wish.
Okay, but first we're going to pick back up with Maya the shaman. And Michelle, I'd like you to tell Maya about our second topic and see what she's got to say about it.
Hi again, Maya.
Hello, yes.
So our topic for the second hour is gifts. So what gifts do we have? How can we, as non-practitioners, learn what is our gift and how can we share our gift with others? So how did you find your gift?
You know, it comes naturally to me, and I used to be an artist. You know, I was a painter, fabric painter, and I was actually a tailor at one time.
Oh.
And I've been working with a lot of clients who needed special garments for different occasions. And I used to have a store at Ashland, Oregon, and that's the Shakespeare Festival Theater. You know where that is? That it's really a beautiful town, very cultural.
Oh. I've only read about it and heard about it. I know some people that live up there, but I've not been myself.
Yeah. So I have had an opportunity to meet all types of people because tourists from all over the world come to see the Shakespeare Festival. And I have a store in the main street which is a wearable art clothing gallery. And that's where I just started to really feel that I have the skill sets to work with all types of people. You know, it's a very interesting experience because as an artist, at one time, you know, I have to come very close to my client. I have to measure their bodies and create clothes for them, one-of-a-kind pieces.
So you really connected with their soul, not just their body being that close to them.
Yes, and they
Okay.
will tell me all kinds of stories about their lives while we're having to do their wardrobe.
They felt comfortable.
Yes.
Okay.
And so a lot of stories that came to me, you know, comes in so
Did we lose you, Maya?
some of them.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So can you hear me?
We
Yes.
can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay. So the stories that was told to me comes in so many facets, and some of them were very, very sad, traumatic. Some are joyful, and mostly the stories that were told to me has to do with heart pain and suffering, you know.
And is that where you developed your in using your gift with these people?
Yes.
Yes.
So they feel connected and feel comfortable when I, you know, tell them stories back, you know, about my life in my country, and you know, some spiritual connection took place, and it was just a really natural, organic process.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's beautiful that you start out. I was not making light of it, but I was thinking when you said you started out like as a seamstress, you were a gift to those like me who cannot sew their own clothes. And then, it, you know, it really is a gift. And then you blossomed into all the other ways of giving of yourself that you do now. Thank you so much for sharing that.
So tell us, Maya, what you do and how our listeners can get in contact with you.
Well, they can go to my website at www.mayadashaman.com. And I have my email address, maya.versanelia or mayadashaman.com is an easy way. Just it's easy to remember, mayadashaman.com.
Mayadashaman.com.
And what kind of services do you offer, Maya?
I do one-on-one sessions with clients, and I started with, a decade ago having to do face-to-face conversation with clients in Los Angeles.
Right.
And it shifted to having phone conversations nowadays because I live in the Appalachian Mountains.
Right.
So-
And this way people can contact you wherever they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Maya, for sharing your gifts with us. MayaTheShaman.com.
Mm-hmm.
Well, have a great day, Maya. Thank you.
Well, can we
yes.
just announce a little something about the dimensions of disclosure or awakening star seeds will begin
Sure.
this next coming week in August 22 to the 25th at Ventura Marriott in Los Angeles.
Oh,
So,
fantastic. Okay. Thank
so Rada
you.
will be there. Mm-hmm.
Did you say you will be there?
No, Rada.
Rada will be there. Okay,
Yes.
yeah,
My
we had her
daughter.
on. Yeah, that's exciting. What day did you say that'll be? Repeat that again.
August 22nd
22nd.
to the 25th.
Okay. All right,
Awesome.
great. Thanks, Maya.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So Jeffrey's going to expand on this topic of gifts, and he's going to read a little poem,
Yeah,
quote.
It's actually a quote from Sonia Choquette's book, True Balance. And I think it's a really good quote because it transitions from balance, what we were talking about in the last hour,
Yep.
into gifts, which we'll be talking about for the rest of this hour.
Look at that.
Perfect.
So here it is. The most profound gift you can offer to those you love and to the world at large is to be a happy, whole, and balanced being. You then become a light bearer in the world, a natural expression of God's beauty, and a model of health and vitality for those who are still struggling in the dark.
Aw.
And that says just what I had said at the I don't remember if you told me this.
I
quote.
read it to
You did?
you.
Maybe
Yeah.
it was in the back of my head because I had mentioned that, the self-care being part of a gift you give yourself.
Right. And I thought of Jeffrey, the light warrior.
Light
as he
warrior.
likes to
Warrior, I
refer to
love
himself.
that.
When I saw light bearer, I was like, oh, that's Jeffrey.
Yeah, I like to take it a step further and call myself a warrior.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm-
Tell us about that. Why? What do you do with light warrior?
I try to bring positivity and, like this quote said, happiness to other people's lives
Okay.
in just the very basic, simple ways. And sometimes they may not even realize it. And it might be I'm at an intersection and there's a car that wants to come out of the parking lot and it's rush hour and they're probably thinking that it's going to take 20 minutes to get out into that traffic. Something so simple as to let people out.
yeah.
Anything you can do to change someone's attitude for the better is being a light bearer or a light warrior. You're dispelling darkness or negativity or frustration with something just small that touches the heart.
And
That-
isn't that the greatest gift?
I was just feeling very emotional when you were talking about that. Sometimes that happens to me during a reading, and I don't always know what it means. But I know exactly what you're talking about when you see that person or you're that person who's waiting to get into traffic and you're tired and you're hungry and you just want to get home and no one will let you in. And that one person waves you in and it shifts your whole perspective. It helps you get home on a better note.
Oh yeah, we sigh in relief like,
Yeah.
oh, there are still good people out there.
Right.
Many times I see them in front of me waving so that I can see them in their rear view window
right.
Right.
as like a sign of thanks.
My husband, I'm always driving his car because anyway, and his windows are really tinted. So if somebody lets me in, I always make sure to roll down the window and wave.
Yep.
I want them to know that I am grateful.
Showing gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a caller. We have Donna here. Welcome to the show, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hey, welcome, you guys, and what a gift you gave to Jennifer by covering for her on her show.
Aw, thank you so much, Donna. That means a lot.
Yeah, and you're wonderful too. So I'm sure
Aw.
she's listening.
I'm blushing. Thank you, Donna.
Well, you were talking with the shaman and about gifts and people that give gifts and people that are readily available to receive gifts, and it's a really incredible manifestation to be able to have those that are around you know that everything that you do is in a positive way, so that you are giving and receiving gifts, and you encircle yourself with the kind of people that you want to be able to have around you that are giving and loving. And I have a market. We do Southern Arizona Animal Food Bank, where we have markets. Like one of them is tomorrow at Broadway and Houghton in the Safeway Shopping Center, where everybody gives a gift of love, a gift of their own hands, a gift of giving. We have barbecue for you with the Santa Maria tri-tip that Jennifer talks about so much. They're loving and giving that they do to that to the tri-tip to be able to give to the people that come up. And also Sarge's cheesecake with the love that he puts in with his cheesecake.
Yummy.
That will be out there tomorrow.
I know where I'm eating.
It's there from 9 until 2, and at the Safeway Shopping Center on Broadway and Houghton. But we also have an incredible amount of vendors that will be out there that do gifts to their love and their aspirations and their talent, that they make things to be able to have people purchase them as gifts for other people. So I just wanted to let you know that love is all around, and love is out there at Broadway Houghton, and we love the gifts of people bringing animal food.
That's what I was going to ask.
So
what are the gifts you need?
And we do need the animal food, cats and dogs, any kind of packaged food or any items that anybody would have to be able to gift it to the Southern Arizona Animal Food Bank. We're there to receive it tomorrow. So from 9 to 2 at Broadway and Houghton.
The Animal Food Bank, who is served by the Animal Food
Who
Bank?
gets to take part in that?
Well, is it open to the public?
If you got sick and couldn't work, and you had fur babies,
yes,
and you weren't able to feed them, we would make sure that you had food for them, so that you didn't have to make that decision of feeding them your food or feeding your animals first before you fed your family. Or if we do a lot with veterans with their service dogs, we do a lot with people that are homeless, to be able to make sure that they have their fur babies have, their dogs, their cats have boots on their feet in the summertime.
I love
food in their
that.
bowls
That's amazing.
all year round.
I see those doggies out there walking around, and I know it's so hot for their feet. I'm glad to hear that you have that. I wish more people knew about that. Oh, wow.
So, Donna, you had mentioned that this takes place a few areas around town. Is there a website that someone could go to find out when and where those will be held?
Yes, there is. It's actually not a website, but it's on Facebook, and it is Southern Arizona Animal Food Bank, and we actually have 7 markets that we do around. One in Green Valley at Broadway and Houghton. We're going to be up in Mount Lemon 3 more times, the 24th of August, the 7th, and the 14th of September. That we're going to be up in Mount Lemon, so that it'll be cooler to be able to shop. We are in Green Valley. We are going to be opening Tuesday on Pennington Market at downtown in Hockamy Plaza. And we do a lot of pop-ups, and we've been able to help a lot of realtors and management companies that have want to bring people to a shopping center. They will call us, because we also have Tucson Food Truck Rally. We rally around to be able to support animals, and we bring food trucks and vendors and great love and giving with the people that we have with us.
That sounds like fun.
Thank you, Donna.
Would be the place to look for on Facebook. It gives a listing of all the times and locations in which we do our gift giving.
Perfect.
I
That's
love
great.
it. Yeah, making my heart feel really big knowing that you're out there helping the critters. I
Yeah,
love
we
it.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
yeah.
Donna.
Thank you so much, Donna. Have a good day.
Oh, you guys too. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So we have another caller, and she's a call-in guest, and I was expecting her, and I'm really excited to hear from her. But I think we should take our break now so we can come back and not interrupt
be
her.
interrupted,
Yeah. All right. So we are going to take a break. You're listening to 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk, AM 1030, Around the Table. Welcome back. It's 2:23 and you are here with Spirit's Kitchen Around the Table, 10:30 a.m. The Voice, trusted local news and talk. This is Rianne Maldonado and I'm here with Michelle Cardenas from Brightway Wellness.
Hi.
Hello, and Jeffrey Green from Natural Awakenings magazine. We don't Hi Jeffrey, sorry.
Renee.
Oh,
my
Rianne.
God. Rianne.
Okay. We don't have Ramon. He's done, but we do have a caller, and our next guest, her name is Rachel. And welcome, Rachel.
Hi.
Hi. I'm going to just tell everybody how we met. Rachel was a guest at my tarot class last weekend, and we had a great time getting to know each other over tarot, but then Reiki came up. And we talked a little bit about that. And when Rachel told me about the property that she purchased recently and what she did with it, my eyes got really big and I said, you have to come on the show and talk about that. So Rachel, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your land and what you're doing with it.
Well, I'm not native to Tucson. I'm from New Jersey. And my grandma, I grew up with my grandma always gardening, and she was the only one in our family that had the green thumb.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I learned a lot from her, and eventually I ended up finding my green thumb, and I started working at a nursery, an 80-acre farm, and started doing propagation there. And I just fell in love with plants and working with plants. And from there, I became an arborist, and just kind of dove into the whole plant thing.
Wow,
And
I know.
and then
She's an
after that,
arborist. Isn't
That
cool?
is so cool. I know an arborist.
I know.
That is so cool.
So, Rachel, obviously you have witnessed the magic and the miracles and the medicine within plants.
Oh, definitely. They have their own auras and just their own lives and personalities. It's like kind of looking at people, because every single one's different. Even though they're the same species, they're all different.
That's so beautiful. So I'm really, really excited for I haven't told anybody what you told me about your tomatoes.
Yeah, this. So I was reading in the newspaper recently about this tomato tariff that they've started in Mexico. I guess how now there's going to be this shortage of tomatoes, or it's going to get more expensive. And I happen to be starting growing a bunch of tomatoes. And basically my land, I bought an acre and cleaned it up. It was covered in garbage. And it was like a tax lien sale. And ever since then, I've been cleaning it up. I got all the garbage cleared off and just started building gardens and going to start a farm with it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and did you tell me that one of the first buildings you built was the greenhouse? And
yeah, that was the first thing I put up. It was it's a 15-by-7 greenhouse, and I started all the baby plants in there. Everything is from seed. It's all heirloom. So I'm trying to just continue the organic heirloom thing.
Well, right in line with that, I had you call in during the second hour because during our first hour, we were talking about balance, and we segued right into our topic for the second hour is gifts. And I thought of you immediately, putting you there, because when you told me that you grow these tomatoes to give to your family and you send them Reiki, what a gift that is to the people that are receiving your tomatoes. Talk about that.
I started doing Reiki last year in October, and I don't know. It's kind of, it just felt more natural. I've been getting this energy from all the plants while I work with them. They've been keeping me grounded because my head is always in the clouds, and so I started to try and incorporate doing Reiki on plants to try and get them to grow better through the summer, because the summer is so hard on them. And it actually has been working with the yields. I'm getting bigger tomatoes, and my butternut squashes are huge. It's kind of ridiculous.
Wow, that is so awesome.
So
you're proof that Reiki works.
Yeah,
that's so
cool.
And
it's just been fun watching them grow. But then I've been getting all these tomatoes, and I can't eat them fast enough. So I've been basically giving everyone that I can Reiki tomatoes.
Now, do they know that when you give them the tomatoes? Do you tell them that you've Reiki'd the tomatoes?
Not at first. I tried this with and I went to this energy healing share, and I brought a whole plate of probably like 20 tomatoes that I just picked before I left.
Wow.
And then in the car I was doing I did a couple of symbols on them and just did a prayer while I was driving, and at first nobody accepted them because they were all like just whatever. And by the end of it I just was like, hey, there's tomatoes there. I did Reiki on them, and then everybody went
the magic word.
So, Rachel, do you know where the address is for the station here? Because you could always bring down a basket of some of your amazing tomatoes.
I know. We'll have to have you bring some in next time. And some of that butternut squash.
What a beautiful gift.
I'm growing some peppers and zucchini, too, so maybe I can do that.
Yeah, that'd be so fun to have some Reiki veggies on around the table.
Around the table.
I know. Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for sharing that. I love that you're out in the world spreading this gift and giving people beautiful, healthy fruit and vegetables. And thank you so much.
Thanks, Rachel.
We
Thanks
appreciate
for having me
you.
on the show.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Isn't that beautiful?
That is so beautiful.
I know that you know Rachel, but I had met her Saturday. And when she told me that, I just was like, oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, she's such a kind, tender-hearted, genuine person. She's really, when she comes into the room, I just feel so at peace with when she
Right.
comes in. She's really sweet.
And when when Jennifer's here and she's talking so beautifully about food and Jeffrey's talking about plants and we're talking about gifts, it's so fun to see how it all goes together.
Yeah.
It does. And one of the best things about gifts is that once we discover those and once we see those, it's so much easier to share those. And I think what really shines the spotlight on any gift is being able to share it. And like Rachel, sharing her tomatoes.
Right.
Yeah, and sharing Reiki, all kinds
Your
of
tarot share.
Yeah.
Well, and there's other ways of, not everyone has a spiritual or metaphysical gift. So there's other ways of gift giving.
Even gifting your time, just spending time with somebody is a
Right.
gift, or listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of a gift yesterday as I was driving. I had this crazy busy day yesterday and it was scorching outside and I was in my car a lot, driving my kids all over the place. It was just one of those days that's just really, really long. And part of the day was our 10-year-old has decided she wants to join the 5th grade orchestra.
Oh, wow.
Not band, but orchestra.
Wow.
And I'm really excited about the instrument she chose, even though we had to kind of persuade her just a little bit. So she chose the giant double bass, giant, right?
Excellent.
I know. And it's super cool. And I was telling her, this is great because we actually have a bass guitar at our house that I wanted to learn. And I'm like, well, if you learn the bass, then later you just tip it on the side and now it's a bass guitar.
Right.
But anyway, I was driving her all the way down to 22nd Street from our house to a recommended store to pick up her bass to rent. And on the way, I decided to play her some classical music, some Baroque music. And it was just her and I in the car. There was no sisters in the car. And we turned it up really, really loud. And oh my gosh, tears started to flow. And my heart just swelled so big in my chest because I realized how much music is a gift in my life. And for so many people, when they say music soothes the savage beast, I really believe that because music can transform you in any moment. If you want to cry and be sad, well, there's music for that. If you want to be happy, there's music for that. And then sometimes when my kids are just out of control and it's that witching hour before bed and you don't know what to do, sometimes I'll just turn music on, the surround sound, and we'll all have a dance party and it snaps them out of the crazies. So for me,
How
I realized
cute.
yesterday that music is really a big gift.
It is.
I'm not musically inclined, but I sure enjoy music.
I mentioned on last week's show that one of the articles in August magazine or Natural Awakening magazine is on music therapy and healing.
That's right.
And how certain vibrations, certain frequencies can actually touch our inner energy and can heal us, whether it be emotionally or mentally or physically. It can touch us and change us. So it is a gift.
That is so true.
Yeah, sound therapy is very powerful.
You use sound therapy with your Reiki clients, don't you? Use the sound bowls?
On occasion, but I'm not very good at it. But I will give a plug for Danielle Dvorak, who is an amazing bowl player and gong enthusiast, professional. She will do a gong bath, and you're just bathed in this frequency, and she brings in bells and bowls, and she plays the gong for a full hour.
Wow.
And it is transforming. It will open up your heart, open up your crown chakra, open up your third eye. I mean, it's just amazing. When you leave, you are vibrating.
I believe it.
And she is very gifted.
Oh, okay.
And when she shares that gift, if you can get to one of her gong baths, you should go. We should go. We should
We should
make it
go,
a date.
and then
It's
we'll come
so-
back and report.
It's amazing.
But I don't want to diminish what you do too. You taught me something valuable about when you're at the end of your Reiki session with a client, a gentle way to wake them up and bring them back is to use your sound bowl.
I do.
And I do that now because of you.
I do. It's a nice way to finish out a session. And I will use the bowls on occasion for meditation. At one of the Reiki shares, I might bring in one of my nice big crystal bowls and play a bowl, because it literally, you can literally feel the vibration in the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing thing. Yeah.
So Jeffrey, I want to hear more of your voice. Tell us what we know some gifts that you already possess, but either tell us something that we don't know that's a gift that you have, or something that you think in your life is a big gift that changes your life, that brings joy to you
You know, it wasn't
or someone.
Okay.
You know?
It wasn't until about 15 years ago, and it was really a second or third career of mine, and I went into education. And I became a teacher, a classroom teacher, and I've taught 4th grade and 5th grade. I've taught all middle school grades, 6, 7, and 8. I've taught 11th grade at the high school level, and I've taught the senior level at the University of Arizona.
Wow.
So I think teaching was something that was innate within me. I like to take ideas, and I like to be able to express those ideas and information in ways that anyone can understand them and grasp the concept of it. So when I left education because of a fairly severe accident, I decided to focus in on my writing. And after that accident, plant medicine kind of saved my life. It, allowed me to get off of all of the pharmaceuticals. So I became enamored with plant medicine and almost preoccupied, where everything I was doing and reading was focused on plant medicine. So I wanted to merge that somehow, and I knew that plant medicine was such a woo-woo thing, if you will.
Yeah,
It was
right.
a hippie thing, and let's just do the pharmaceuticals instead. So I brought it on as a purpose of mine to help educate the public, family, friends, coworkers, anyone who was willing to listen. I wanted to share what I had learned about plant medicine. So I'm thinking that I can identify a gift as being a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Being
definitely.
Absolutely. Well, and I think not only were you were a gift to your students as a teacher, and then I think you being a teacher is a gift to yourself. You find joy in that.
You're
It
right.
makes you feel good and important and healthy.
When you see that spark in a child's eye, when they finally get something, whether it be long division or how to diagram a sentence or anything like that, you can tell, you can actually see it, and you can actually feel the energy change when it clicks and they get it. And that's something that was always a gift for me.
Yeah. Jeffrey, hearing you say that, a teacher like you is a gift. My husband and I dropped our youngest little one off at preschool today, and as we were walking out, he was saying what a joy it is that our children actually like school, and they do. And I attribute that to a couple of things. One, we value education in our home and we make it fun, but more importantly is when you have good teachers.
Yeah.
That's a true gift that lasts forever.
And teachers are so unappreciated. So I'm going to give a shout out to the teachers. I
Yeah.
think we as parents and grandparents shouldn't wait until teacher day to show
appreciate.
appreciation for our teachers. So everyone go and say thank you to your teachers
Give 'em a
for
hug.
educating your kids. They're helping raise your kids during the day. They're educating them. They're teaching them social skills as well. So go out there and say thank you to a teacher.
Yeah, because teachers are a gift. Yeah, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
Well, we are at our next break. So we'll be back with another guest and, wrap things up. But we are AM 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk. Welcome back, everybody. It's 2:43, and we are live at 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk. You're listening to Spirit's Kitchen, and I am here with Michelle Cardenas from Brightway Wellness. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Rianne.
Hi. And Jeffrey Green from Natural Awakenings Magazine.
Hi, Rianne.
I'm so glad to be here with you guys.
Me too.
I'm
This
sad
is fun.
Yeah, and I'm sad it's our last 15 minutes, 12 minutes. Jeffrey, during the break, you said something really cool. You said you had a profound take on gifts.
Well, I had mentioned that I didn't go into education until well into my 30s. And it was something that I never really realized or identified as a gift. However, it was something that I was intrigued about. It was something that I really needed to investigate further. And I think there might be a lot of people out there who are struggling to identify their own gifts.
Right.
So I think it's definitely a process. So under the Christmas tree or for a birthday, someone gets a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. So it's a gift, but it's not all put together. It may not even be identifiable. But by researching, by studying, by learning, and putting piece to piece together, eventually you're going to get a clear picture of that gift.
That's a great analogy.
Thank you.
And I like your analogy because I think you're saying that those pieces are in us. We have to discover them. And
They absolutely are.
Try things and experiment with things or meet the right people that pull those pieces out of us until we come out with that complete picture. Do you think we ever reach the complete picture?
I don't believe that we do, because I think once we identify and once we get the picture, it's continually changing as we continue to master our gifts and to share it with other people.
Our puzzle morphs and the
Yes.
picture
Yeah.
on the puzzle changes. That's so cool. I'm totally going to envision that. You know, like, can't you see kind of the puzzle and it's like swirly and, you know, you kind of get a fuzzy glimpse of something and then it morphs into something else?
Yes,
That's
and you
really
you
cool.
can't get frustrated when two pieces don't fit together. It doesn't mean that there's not another piece out there that's going to fit.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
And we're like puzzles. We are the puzzle. We are all those little pieces that we're putting together.
And we pick up pieces everywhere we go, don't you think? We kind of, you know, whether we meet someone or we take a class or we read a book, we now have a new piece to our puzzle to figure out what our gift is.
Right. Or to develop the gift that we know we have.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But some of us don't even know we have a gift, or we don't
True.
even know. No one ever taught us to appreciate. I'm not saying me, I'm just people in general. You know, maybe you weren't ever taught that just being you is a gift,
a
and
gift.
the gift
Right.
of your personality or the smile you bring to the room is a gift. So,
And
right.
even the energy that you're bringing into the room. Sometimes there's a person that just walks into a room and it lights up with
Absolutely.
positive energy.
oh yeah, we all know some of those, and then we know the opposite.
Yes.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
So, Michelle, you were going to talk a little bit more, bring some food into.
I'm bringing food back into Spirit's Kitchen. Yes, I
Okay.
am. Well, I was hoping Yolanda Soto was going to call in today, but she must be really busy. I'm sure she's got a lot on her plate.
Ooh, on her plate.
Uh-huh. So I wanted to talk about powwow because we're talking about gifts, and powwow I think is a really great gift for all of us to cherish and use. So every Saturday, well, I shouldn't say every Saturday, most Saturdays of the year, except for some times when they're off, powwow, which is Borderlands Produce Rescue, will do what's called powwow. Powwow is produce without waste, produce on wheels without waste. And this Saturday, they're going to have 3 markets available here in Tucson. And for $12, you get 70 pounds.
That's amazing to me.
Wow.
Of fresh produce. I mean, that is such a gift right there. I pick up, the 70 pounds and
Deliver some to your friend
take
Rianne?
Yes, I can. I usually will take what I want and then I'll share it. I'll give it to people that come to the share
You
or
gift it.
friends. I gift it. I gift the gift that I've received in these 70 pounds of fresh produce. So this weekend, they are going to be located, Metro Tucson service for Saturday, August 17th is from 6 to 9 a.m. So it's early in the morning
it is
before
early.
it gets hot. They want the produce to be fresh and ready for pickup. So Copper Queen Community Hospital in Palominas is one of their locations. That's a little outside of Tucson, but they're also going to be located at Resurrection Lutheran Church on First Avenue in Oro Valley and St. Demetrios Greek Orthodox Church on Fort Lowell Road. And they will have quite an array of squashes, chilies, grapes. Looks like they've got some poblanos and mangoes
Yummy.
possibly.
Yum.
So they have quite a variety. I'm not exactly sure of all the stuff that they have, but maybe we will hear from Yolanda and she can give us the update. But they're always yummy. They're always fresh. They're always delicious and ready to gift to others as well as to yourself.
Yeah, think about somebody who maybe isn't feeling well or doesn't drive, can't get out of their house or the heat or whatever, that you could pick up some of this produce and share with them and be a gift.
Yeah, either share it with them or make something beautiful like a delicious stew or a soup or something and gift that to the person.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a caller. Roberta, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. First of all, this is not what I called for, but what I just heard you say. And that is, I am a homebound senior citizen. If anyone lives near me and would ever want to drop off some fresh food for me, I'd gladly pay for it.
Roberta, please leave your information with Bob before we hang up.
Okay.
Maybe somebody will be able to do that for you.
That would be great. I was thinking of that guest that you had on, that she was growing organic heirloom tomatoes and things.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if there was some way I could get anything from her.
I'm sure we could make a
Maybe
connection.
we can connect you.
Yeah.
If there's anything organic, that's always the best.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the nice things about Powwow is most of their items are organic, which is even that much better.
Right.
That's great.
Yes.
Okay, what I called for was that I know there isn't enough time today, but sometime I'd like to hear, is it Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us more about his herbs his plants and plant medicine and things. And I'd like to hear you tell us more. You said you give your family some rare vegetables, and I'd like to hear more about those rare vegetables and how you prepare them.
Oh, maybe that was Rachel with her vegetables. But, Roberta, in the meantime, to hear more about Jeffrey, too, our show is recorded, as you probably know, and you might be able to listen back to other times that Jeffrey's been on and talking. I think he talked a little bit more about herbs and plants as medicine last week. And then when somebody brings you some tomatoes, maybe we could bring some Natural Awakenings magazine, which has some of the articles about the plant-based medicine or plant medicine.
Right. Natural living, healthy planet. The magazine is full of articles, and there is an entire section of the magazine that is focused on plant medicine.
Well, I would love that, except I can no longer see to read regular print.
Okay,
well,
we'll have Jeffrey on again, and he'll be talking more about plant medicine in the coming weeks.
Absolutely.
For sure.
We'll make sure to make that a big part of it for you, Roberta.
So leave your information with Bob, and we'll connect you.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Roberta.
Looks like maybe we have another caller.
I think so.
Maybe that's Yolanda calling in, I hope, to kind of give us an update on the powwow information. So gifts. What other kind of gifts do we give and receive? What is the best gift you ever received?
Oh, okay. Have you ever read the 5 love languages?
No.
Oh my gosh, you have to read this. Okay, I'll speak quickly because Yolanda did call in.
Oh, good.
So the 5 love languages, I love this. It's basically that we all give love in the way that we want to be loved. And there are 5 different ways. Like one of them is gifts. And so my husband, we took the quiz, and his is definitely gifts. So he always gives gifts because that's how he feels loved. But for me, time. Yeah. I want you to spend time with me. Put your phone down and actually hang out with me. So
okay, let's get to Yolanda before we run out of time.
Okay. Oh, it's Bob. We're ready for Yolanda.
Hi.
Hi, Yolanda. How are you?
I apologize. I was having terrible trouble with my phone.
Oh.
I apologize for being late. And
No,
I'm
that's
well,
okay.
Thank you. I'm well.
We're glad you're
How
here.
are all of you?
Great.
Really good. Now, I kind of gave a little rundown, but I'm sure you could summarize it a whole lot better than I can. Where is Powwow going to be located? What can we find? And tell us what Powwow is.
All right. So Powwow is an acronym for for Produce on Wheels Without Waste. And it's a program of Borderlands Produce Rescue, which we've been doing for about 24 years now, rescuing produce to get it to everybody. And trying to make people feel obligated by shopping at these alternative markets and keeping this product out of the landfill. You keep gas emissions out of our planet, which is something we all need to be doing. Mm-hmm. And so what we do is we have host sites all over the state of Arizona. This is our Arizona program. And our Tucson host sites for tomorrow are going to be St. Demetrios Greek Orthodox Church on 1145 East Fort Lowell Road. And also we'll be having one in Oro Valley at Resurrection Lutheran Church at 15575 North First Avenue. Now, during the summer, we don't have as many sites hosting because of the heat. We don't have as much produce that we're rescuing. But the product is great, and I invite you all to please come down and visit one of these host sites.
Great. Can you quickly tell us a few of the items that we might find at one of these pickup sites?
Absolutely. We'll be having spaghetti squash, acorn squash, fairy tale pumpkins.
Oh, how fun.
Gray squash. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Cucumber yellow squash, chile serrano, tomatillo, mango.
I can never find those.
Beef tomato, and green grapes.
Awesome. That sounds delicious.
A great variety of product.
What an abundance of good.
A $12 contribution, you can get up to 70 pounds of fresh produce. And 70 pounds is a lot of produce, but we want you to pay it forward and share it.
Yes.
Family, friends, churches, with everyone, because that's what it's all about.
Excellent.
All right, Yolanda, we are running short on time, but I want to thank you so much for calling in and sharing.
Thank you so much for including me. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, you
we
too.
appreciate you, Yolanda.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. We only have a couple minutes left, but I want to give you, Michelle and Jeffrey, a moment to talk about upcoming events.
Yes. We're talking about shares and sharing and gift giving. So Jeffrey is giving the gift of a Reiki share this weekend from 11 to noon. I should let him talk about this. It's the practitioner's Reiki share. I'll let him give more information on that. And then on the 21st, I'm hosting a Reiki share from noon to 1 p.m. at Brightway Wellness. And that one is open to the public. And we just ask for donation to keep us up and running. But it's free. Anybody can attend. Anyone can give and receive. And it's a lot of fun. So I'll hand it over to Jeffrey to talk more about the specifics on the practitioners.
So this Saturday from 11 to 12 at Michelle's studio, Brightway Wellness, it is a Reiki share focused around practitioners only. However, anyone is welcome. The purpose of that is to create a positive space where practitioners can receive Reiki. As practitioners, we typically are giving. And although we receive when we give, sometimes it's nice to just sit and actually receive from another Reiki practitioner. So that's this Saturday from 11 to 12, Brightway Wellness.
Again, free and open.
Yeah. Okay, real quick before we end with Radio Reiki, at the Shy Moon Center, we're going to have a tarot share on Friday night the 23rd and Saturday morning the 24th. And you can find those at the Tucson Tarot Meetup Group. Okay, we are going to end with some Radio Reiki.
Okay.
Michelle's going to take that on.
I'm going to lead it today?
Yay!
Okay, I guess I am. All right, so I want you to breathe in and out. And as you breathe in, I want you to find your area of tension and breathe in that beautiful light of Reiki energy that we're sending you into that area of tension. And as you breathe out, you're going to release the tension. Breathing in the beautiful Reiki energy. And as you breathe out, you're releasing anything negative that you no longer need, no longer serves you. And I end the session with love and light. You have been Reiki'd.
Yay! All right.
Thank
you so much for being here with me on Spirit's Kitchen. 10:30 The Voice, Around the Table, trusted local news and talk. We'll see you next time.
Bye everyone.
Rianne.
Bye.
Bye-bye.